very positive experience, and I think with the other leaders, we displayed an ability to discuss issues in, for the most part, a civil fashion. And I'm open to any questions you might have.
How do you think you did tonight?
Oh, my daughter says I did great. And I had an email from my brother in Cape Breton who said I won the debate. So I'm just very pleased with being able to communicate clearly on a wide range of subjects. If nothing else, I hope I demonstrated for Canadians that the Green Party is not a one-issue party.
How many seats do you think your party can actually win, like realistically?
Well, we're running in 338, so somewhere shy of that. I think realistically we can win many more seats than we have now, and I'm not prepared to put a number on that because I'm a little bit superstitious, I should say. But I'm very confident we'll win a good number of seats, and in a minority parliament, which is the point I was trying to make tonight as often as I could. In a minority parliament, a group of members of parliament in a party that's prepared to be collaborative and cooperative can actually make the difference between an insecure, fractious two-year parliament and a productive, hard-working four-year parliament. So in a parliamentary democracy, a group of Green MPs elected in this next election will change the nature of parliament as well as improving the level of government and the quality of government Canadians receive. Any other questions? Yeah? Oh, that's why you thought there were no more questions. I get it now.
Okay.
Line up at the mic. Okay.
In 2011, a lot of the debate revolved around the issue of coalition. We didn't see that tonight. Why do you think that is? Is that...
In 2008, we actually didn't discuss a coalition in
2011, sorry.
Oh, and in 2011, of course, I wasn't in those debates. I watched them. I don't recall that the coalition issue came up very much as a discussion point in those leaders' debates. But the reality of it is that we are in a Westminster parliamentary system where coalition governments are completely legitimate. We just had one in the last British government under David Cameron in a coalition with Nick Clegg. We've seen cooperation in Canada far more frequently than we've seen coalition. And that's why I drew attention to the government of Lester B. Pearson. I think, although it was 50 years ago, a lot of Canadians are very attached to the values that were exemplified in a parliament which was more respectful, in a parliament that showed a willingness to do, to really take large steps forward for the good of the whole country. Steps like our national healthcare system, and Canada pension plan and unemployment insurance, as well as the flag, were productive and extremely forward-looking steps by a parliament that was a minority. So I think Canadians know that minority parliaments can work better than majorities. And the other concern I have, which Paul Wells started out with, is we're allowing our system of government to increasingly become an elected dictatorship with prime ministers walking into the prime minister's office and finding all the levers of power they need to control not just their own MPs and not just turn cabinet ministers into ciphers for policies developed in PMO, but also reach out, suppress the civil service and gag scientists, and even hurl insults at the Supreme Court of Canada. So we need to reduce the power of the Prime Minister's office, regardless of who the Prime Minister is.
Okay,
And that was Green Party leader Elizabeth May speaking to the media after the debate.
Elizabeth May, were you surprised at how well she did, how articulate she was?
She was really good, and I think that we knew that she had a good ability at effectively getting her point across, but as I think John had mentioned earlier, that sometimes Elizabeth May tends to ramble. She was prepared, she was on point, she kept her answers short, she attacked, she brought up a lot of examples, she proved what she was trying to say and get across, and then she really effectively got her message.
And smartly, she went after Mulcair in BC. She made some specific points against him, especially on the pipeline. I think what she did tonight, she didn't prove she didn't prove that she should be prime minister. What she did was she proved that she should have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 MPs in the House of Commons sitting under the green banner.
Did you notice Let's listen to her clip. Sorry, go ahead. Why don't we take her clip on Bill C-51? She was very well spoken on this issue.
For an oversight of C-51, there's no oversight at all. And if you listen to security experts, and I urge anyone watching to go online and find the evidence of Joe Fogarty, who is an MI5 agent from the UK doing liaison intelligence work with Canada. This C-51 Anti-Terrorism Act makes us less safe. It is not confronting terrorism. It is very likely to make us less able to disrupt plots while at the same time eroding our freedoms.
We know what is an embarrassment. The fact that the Prime Minister is not speaking to reporters after this event, and that is actually, for me, unconscionable. All of the other leaders are standing out there and asking questions about how they did, about their policies, about their platform, about what they support and believe in, and Stephen Harper just took off, and it's a part of a long series of tactics the Prime Minister has had to avoid the media and to not take questions.
He can't control the crowd.
He can't control the crowd. He can't control the questions they're asking, can't control what they want to ask him, and so he just runs.
No surprise, Stephen Harper was first before, but the big one is Elizabeth May. That's a surprise. Right?
Yeah, really. I mean, when we go back to, again, the most talked about or most, the most conversed moment on Facebook, it really was Elizabeth May. And we see that bearing out again in terms of the conversations during the debate. So we see that Elizabeth May has vaulted above Mr. Mulcair. She really seems to have stood out from the crowd, from the four leaders that were out there. Elizabeth May seems to have punched through. And in terms of engagement on Facebook among 20 million Canadians during the debates, she's really moved herself forward and really positioned her well coming out of the debates.
And that is showing from that moment we used earlier in this hour, talking about when she talked about energy and consumption and reduction in pollution, was it only came with a recession.
That's
and
right.
that was the moment that people were talking about the most during this debate.
It just seems like whether it's what she said about the energy, and environment, and the debate there, or if it's about who really shone in the debates, she's really been able to stand out, and so that's a very interesting finding. And again, this is based on real conversations with real Canadians across the country.